The views, thoughts, and opinions expressed on this podcast are those of the podcasters and any guests and do not reflect the views, thoughts, and opinions of any of the sponsorships or affiliates of thereof.
You are now tuned in to the Lake Talk with your host, G Daddy Funk. The Lake Talk. What it do? It's your boys from the Lake Talk 801 podcast, where we shine light on local artists and entrepreneurs. To my right, I got Babyface Fonzie.
Hey, how you doing?
To my left, the real Ruby.
What's up, everyone?
And myself, G Daddy Funk. What's going on, guys?
Not much.
This
Actually, a lot.
past year has been pretty crazy.
Man, this past year was crazy, man. We're in 2023, and life is good.
Yes.
Why are you
That's
laughing?
just funny.
It is funny, huh?
We're in the future.
We're in the future, bro. This is exactly what I was gonna say.
Yeah,
when I was a kid, and people talked about like 2023 or like all those movies that we watched in the 90s, they were all based like in 2023, and they would like be on like flying cars,
Flying
and
cars,
stuff,
yeah,
and, like,
yeah.
you know, transporting and like laser guns. And
Well, they have electrical cars now, so that's a start, right?
Hoverboards, like those
The
hoverboards.
hoverboard would have been cool if they came up with those, which they did, right? But they
no,
have.
but like one that actually hovers.
Yeah.
Not the one with the wheels and all that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That would be cool. Yeah, but nah, man, 2023. What do you guys? What are your goals for 2020? I can't even speak. 2023.
I'm just gonna. There's the same goals from 2022.
Just they're
just
rolling over.
I mean, I'm planning to do it, but it's just
Do what?
a lot of things. I don't want to say it because
Oh,
I
okay.
won't do it.
Do you write your goals down?
No, but I heard that's good to do.
Oh yeah. What about you, Ruby? Do you write your goals down?
I have before. Yeah, I actually was looking through some of my stuff. And I have like this notebook, right? And I looked at it, and I had some goals written down on it. I wrote them down like last year.
Right.
And I had crossed off a few of them.
Nice.
But then I got into the accident, and I totally forgot about it. And then I looked at it. So that's funny that you mentioned that. But yeah.
So
That's
did
cool.
you add on to it?
No, but I need to. I just kind of looked at it and put it away. But
Did you accomplish any of the goals that you wrote?
yeah, that's what I just said.
Oh, my bad. Okay,
Yeah.
I didn't hear that. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's all good.
So, like, what can you
Don't
name?
apologize to me. Apologize to our listeners.
Oh,
bro.
I'm sorry, listeners. But but can you mention some of the goals that you accomplished?
No.
Okay, cool, man. Well,
Top secret stuff.
I
If
remember.
you want to know, DM me.
No. Well, I remember in the beginning of the year, or what? Probably the beginning of the year that we
Right.
talked about how you were gonna quit, not quit per se, but like cut
Smoke
down.
less weed?
Yeah,
Oh,
I've smoked less.
yeah. Is it because?
Not that much, but less.
Well, why did you though? Like, why did you cut down on smoking so much weed besides the goals? Or is it because you couldn't find any weed, or is it because?
No, it's for. I just stopped smoking so much because, like I was saying earlier, if you like listen to our podcast,
Yeah.
you would know.
Uh-huh.
I was just saying that it's not cool to be high like all the time. So.
Do you listen to our podcast, by the way?
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which one was the last one you listened to?
The one where episode 15 and a half where you're full of shit, Fonzie.
That's
Just kidding.
That's
I'm
funny.
just joking. I'm just joking.
15 and a half doesn't exist, but
I know,
okay.
I'm
Uh-huh.
just joking. Anyways, guys.
No, wait. You don't shy away from the question now.
Do I listen to our podcast?
Yeah.
I do.
Okay. Which one was the last one you listened to? Like complete.
The last one I listened to complete. I think it was the Lance Emilian one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Damn, that was a
It's
2-hour
kinda
episode.
right now. Yeah.
Damn. Okay. Hey, kudos to you, bro. That's tight. Okay. Well, we'll ask you
need to
questions
catch
about
up.
that later on the next episode.
hey, what about you?
Do I listen to our podcast?
No, your list.
My list of goals. I don't have any. I haven't wrote any goals down. The reason I'm asking you guys about that because I think I'm going to start writing my stuff. Not think. I am going to start writing my goals down.
Yeah.
I have like little daily tasks that I write down that I need to get finished, and I do. You know, especially with the podcast, reels and whatever else posts that we have to post and stuff. So I get those things done as much as possible. So
Nice.
yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Make sure you get it done.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna disappear for starting January. You guys are gonna see less of me.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
Yeah, man.
That's cool.
Actually,
That's
we
good.
are in January already. Damn it, I messed up.
Yes, we are.
Yeah, we're in January already, but yeah, that's what it is.
That's good. That's good. Yeah, I'm just gonna stick with mine. I'm gonna do that though. I'm gonna write a list.
Okay,
down.
and get
Yeah,
that.
my list is very short this year. Just don't die.
Just don't die.
Don't die. Yeah.
Damn, 2022, you almost did, huh, bro?
Yeah.
Dang.
It's like, just don't die.
Thinking about that gives me the heebie-jeebies, man. The I get chills, bro. Thinking about that.
I get chills when I think about it too.
Yeah.
I feel it like in this arm that I broke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh damn.
Oh wow. Yeah. Okay.
That was a good
You seen
flash.
that?
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah. Anyways, so today we have a special guest.
We do.
She's a friend of the podcast, and
Yes.
we were supposed to have her back a few weeks ago, but things happened, like life happens, and so man, without further ado, we have Lacie.
Is this the right
Lacie Jay, right?
Yes.
Yes, that's the right one, buddy.
one? My
So-
bad. I always forget and I always press the wrong one and they get mad at me.
Yeah, all the time. So, yeah, we have Lacie Jay with us today. Lacie, how are you doing?
I am great.
Yeah?
Yeah. How are you guys?
I'm okay.
Yeah, I'm good.
I'm hanging in there.
Yeah.
It's like that cat. The cat that's hanging onto the tree.
Yeah.
He's just hanging in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's me.
Thrilled that it's the new year.
Yes.
For me.
Yes. So talking about goals, do you have any goals for 2023?
Oh man. Yes.
Yeah.
I am going to do another fitness show.
Okay. Oh, nice.
I haven't picked when.
Yeah.
But yeah, that
So
journey kind of got thrown off last year a little bit. So
When you say fitness show, is that like bodybuilding or?
yeah. So bikini.
Okay.
It's- Yeah.
Cool.
Well,
Yeah.
What's the difference between bodybuilding and bikini building?
So bikini is like the very, I don't even know what you want to call it.
The
Not
low tier?
lowest. Yeah, but like first
Okay.
one or whatever for the women's, right? So you have like good muscle mass, but you're lean and you're not like built,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
Like those big, massive.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I first imagined.
Yeah,
in my mind.
right.
yeah.
Last
Yeah.
year when you did it, you invited us to go, and we were supposed to go. Me and Ivan, as a matter of fact, but we weren't able to. But then the pictures you posted were like, damn! I was like amazed, like, damn, Lacie, you're
It's
really doing
crazy.
it. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm gonna say this forever and a day. Like, you look like She-Hulk to me. Like,
Really?
yeah, she looked nice. Yeah,
Is
you
it
know
like,
what I'm saying?
hey, when you guys do those shows, you guys really like rub oil on your bodies?
So yeah, so it's like a tan, a
Right.
spray tan.
Okay.
And normally when you go get a tan at a salon or somewhere, you wear it for 6 to 8 hours and then you rinse it off. So these you do the night before and you don't rinse it. And then you do a second coat. Sometimes some people do a third coat. So you're just
Yeah.
dark. And then they'll do oil like right before you go on stage.
Why do they do the tan thing?
I mean, to me, it's like, so everybody kind of has the same skin tone.
Okay,
And you're...
okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Is
But,
it-
and it just looks really good. Like
It's
your
more
muscles,
visible?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
it defines your muscles and things like that, like
Okay.
the definition and tone and stuff. So
Cool.
What made you do that? Like, jump into that sport, I guess.
honestly, like, so I've done fitness and nutrition for,
Yeah.
15 years or whatever. And I kind of always thought it was not dumb, but like, I was like, oh, that's just, I don't really ever have an interest in that. Right.
Yeah.
And then I don't know what it was, if it was COVID or whatever, I'm like, I train people and then I work out for
Right.
myself, but it kind of got to a point where I was like kind of bored and I'm like, man, I need something,
Yeah,
right? Like
yeah.
I go to the gym and work out and I feel good, right? And I like to, make sure my body looks a certain way, but I'm like, I need a goal. Like I need something. And it was awesome. Like
Wow.
the people, all the other athletes, they're all so down to earth. Like it was a really cool experience. So
How did you even hear about this, or what kind of guided you to do that?
I mean, I've had friends that have done it,
Okay.
people that I've worked with over the years that they've all done fitness
Okay.
shows and
But what was the hardest thing about it? about jumping into that?
I don't know.
Was it the nutrition that you had to eat a certain way?
Yeah. I mean, luckily the coach I had, it was, he's really good, and he kind of eases you in the whole time. Like, I mean, it's like a 7-month process.
Yeah.
So you're slowly changing the whole time. So it's not ever dramatic to where there are some people who at getting closer to the end, they just are totally depleted and starved and exhausted. And it never got that crazy. Like, I enjoyed it the whole time. I mean, yeah, there's, sometimes it's like, okay, I'm sick of egg whites and
so it's
vegetables. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. So did you would become hangry?
I don't know. Like, not really that bad, because when it got closer to the show and the leaner I got, I almost couldn't really eat.
Okay.
I don't know what that reason was.
Your body was getting used to it, maybe?
Yeah. And it's weird when you because your body, especially women, like, you're not supposed to be that low, right? In body fat and stuff. Like, your body naturally wants a certain level of body fat to have babies and things like that. So I don't know. It was weird. Like, I hardly slept. I would get like 4 hours of sleep, and then I'd be up and like ready to go.
Right.
So I don't know. It was crazy, but
okay.
What your body does.
With the process getting there to where you needed to be for the show, was it easier because you were already working out and eating healthy, or were you always eating healthy?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So it never it didn't affect you then much.
No, and I was worried because a lot of people that had done it, they were like, "Hey, like, be careful after the show, because it messes with you, like, body dysmorphia, right? Like, that's not a normal way to look and
Body
to live,
dysmorphia?
Right? Yeah. So you at the show, like, you look the day before and a little bit after, like, you're amazing, right? Like, but that is not a realistic way to live, right? Like, you can't maintain that food. It's just not healthy. So, and it's a gradual change, and your body's getting better and better and better as you lead up, the weeks leading up to the show. And then after, it's, if you're careful not doing a reverse diet to get back to a normal amount of food and get back to a normal weight, you put on body fat quickly and things like that, and it messes with people, like, their mental health. Because
reverse diet, body dysmorphia.
Yeah.
I'm learning today, guys. I'm learning.
Write that word down. Let me see.
So a lot of people, like women especially that I talk to, they're like, make sure you have to understand, like, that's not normal to look like that. And once you start putting the weight back on and you get to your normal weight, you're going to feel differently than when you were at that weight previously. So it can mess with people, like, and they,
Mental
sometimes
health.
get eating disorders. And
So you're saying that it hasn't messed with you? Okay.
So was that a lot harder than actual working out and getting to that, what would you call it, that
Physique?
winning, the physique, and then after? Like,
was
which
the
one
after
was harder?
I'd say before.
Before? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
After wasn't, like, I wasn't too worried that, like, anything, like, I was going to blow up or something crazy,
Yeah.
So yeah, it wasn't bad.
So you were watching how big your muscles got and stuff, and how toned they were, right? You had to be attentive to that.
Yeah. So luckily I didn't have to. That's why I hired a coach for that.
Gotcha.
Like, people are like, well, why can't you just do it yourself? You've done it for years. I was like, that is a whole different ball game.
Yeah.
You know what I
Wow.
mean? So, I would check in every Monday. So I would do, like, a certain position, standing away from the camera in a bikini every Monday morning and send it. And we would literally change my food and stuff just off of what I look like.
Wow. So there's certain, like you said, egg whites. What else? What?
So it was really it wasn't that bad. So I was on macros, which is macronutrients, proteins, carbs, and fats. So I could pick what I ate, right? Instead of them giving me a meal plan. It was probably the last, like, few weeks to where I got down to 75 carbs a day that could only be from vegetables.
Wow.
So, like, my oatmeal in the morning and stuff like that, like, you couldn't have any of that. So my meal plan for the last few weeks and then the week of the show was 5 egg whites in the morning with some peppers, like cut in, sauteed into it. A protein shake. Chicken and green beans was like the midday, and then another protein shake, and then 5 egg whites and the peppers at the end of the day.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay, damn, man. That would suck to eat
Yeah.
that shit all the time. Yeah,
You
that
just
would.
made me depressed. Yeah.
Were you? I guess I did ask that, but were you eating similar? Like, were you always eating
No.
healthy and
Yes,
like,
but that
not
no.
not to the
Not like
extreme
that.
No. Yeah.
So I have a question. So for somebody like you that's in a competition, that was training to be in a competition like the one that you were in, what do you concentrate on when you go to the gym? Like, are you doing a lot of cardio, or are you doing a lot of weightlifting?
During that.
Or like, yeah, well, kind of give me like your
So
routine.
I actually never changed. We never changed my weightlifting routine the
Okay.
entire time. So it was 2 days shoulders and legs and butt are like the main focus in the bikini
Shoulders,
class.
legs, and okay.
So twice a week shoulders, twice a week legs, 1 day back, and then 1 day arms, like triceps, biceps. There was butt exercises, buttocks, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
Glutes. Every day.
Ass workouts. You said whatever I wanted to call it.
So after I got done with, whatever body part was there, I would do a little butt every day. And then I started out at the very beginning, like 30 minutes cardio. Then after a little bit, we went up to 45, then an hour. Then it was at an hour for a while, and then it went to an hour and a half. And then I can't even remember the exact time frame. I want to say a month or two-ish before it was up to 2 hours. So I would split that. I would do an hour in the morning, then my weight training, which was about another hour. And then I would do another hour like in the afternoon or whenever I was able to go back or whatever.
Yeah.
So
How heavy were you going with like the squatting and
so everything was
sorry, that might be a little personal, but I'm just
not
like,
I
kinda like,
honestly I don't even
where are you at here? Like,
really remember the actual weight, but so everything was to failure. So upper body, so like shoulders, arms, things like that was like 8 to 12 reps. But you wanted to, like, I don't know if you've ever lifted to failure. What that means is every single set, when you say I'm going to 10 with curls, at 10, I want to not be able to even lift it.
okay.
Like,
You have
and
to
that
you have to push it to the limit.
so that is, you're going up in weight to where, you know what I mean? Like you wouldn't normally live with that, and then it was only 30 seconds rest in between every set, which if you think about it, like as you're there, like doing the weights was cardio almost. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm sweating, like I'm like 30 seconds and you're not even have your breath back from that, and you are going for your next set.
Yeah, definitely. I always heard that you don't have to actually do the running or the cardio. You could actually just do weights, and that's basically your cardio, because as long as you sweat it out or whatever. Going back to what he's kind of said, is it offensive, like for people to ask you about your weight? For you, not really. No.
Well, I wasn't asking her her weight. I was asking her how much she was lift, like how heavy was.
Well, I'm asking you that question then. Like about, is it offensive when people ask you about
No.
the weight? I would think not, because you're in that this competition.
People are actually like, I don't know why they always think I weigh less than I do. I don't know if just because I'm a girl or whatever, but I'm tall and I have a lot of muscle. So so like right now, like just normal, like healthy walking around, I'm usually like 155.
Damn. Okay.
160 sometimes.
Damn. That's good.
For my show, I was 147.
Dang. Oh.
And
Sorry, that was yes.
and I can't even remember.
But does it matter, like, what for that bikini? It doesn't matter how much you weigh, right? It's more.
Nope, it's all about
on
what
in.
you look like.
Okay,
Wow.
okay. With that being your
Hence the oil.
first time doing this type of competition, what kept you motivated to continue? Or not quit?
I had a friend that was doing a lot of the cardio with me. So our long talks on the treadmill helped a lot. And then once I started, so you have to do posing classes, right? Because there's a certain way everybody poses the exact same on stage. I met some girls. Yeah. You'd be perfect.
Guys, you heard it from her.
Don't tell
her.
You
guys heard it from her.
You're going to give him a big
You guys
ass
heard it
head.
from her. His head's already big.
His head's
all right?
already big, man.
Barely fit in this hat.
I met there was like 4 or 5 girls that were kind of on our team, like with our coach, that we would do posing classes with and stuff. And then came to find out that they lived by me and stuff. So it was really cool. Like we
awesome.
kind of had a little friend group and it made it, a lot of us, it was our first show. So we had this little support group. So
That's cool.
But I mean, you're competing against Sam though, right?
yes, a couple of them, but even though we're all doing bikini, there's height, like there's a class for, I think it's like 5'6" and up, and I'm 5'7".
Okay.
And so there's girls that were 5'5", 5'4", or 5'3", right? So I wouldn't have gone against them. And then so there's just different classes.
Gotcha.
So there was a few that we were, but not a ton.
So at this point, you're working out 7 days a week. Like at that point, you were working out 7 days a week
So-
when you're training?
Technically, it was only supposed to be 6 days a week. We were allowed to have Sundays or whatever, but I would go in just because it's like, to me, it's an hour in your day, and I don't really do, I didn't do a ton on Sundays, so I would go maybe do like extra cardio or something.
You're
But
putting in that overtime.
But- yeah, it was most
So,
days.
like working out 7 days a week, right? You're pushing your body to the limit. What did you do to like, on your time off, or what did you do to like help with like your sore muscles? You know what I mean? Like, because you were going hard.
A lot of salt baths.
Salt baths.
Yeah, I loved that. But to be honest, it got kind of crazy because you're doing the exact same movements, right? For every part of your body. And the idea behind that is it's just repetition. Your body is getting used to that. You're getting that muscle memory to just build and build and build. And I got to a point to where it was like, even though I'd be lifting to failure and like heavy, I didn't ever get crazy sore when it got to the end. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like it almost got used to it
Right.
and like even like moving up in weight because it just, I don't know. It was weird.
I just asked because like I've never really like been like, or I've never really stuck to it working out. But the times that I have, like if I worked out a muscle group like my arms, where I did a bunch of curls, the next day I go to work out, I can't do arms again.
Oh,
like,
no.
I'm sore
Right.
for a week at least. Like,
Right.
So
Yeah,
it's just something you get used to, huh?
Yeah, and it was I think, what did I do? I was Mondays, Thursdays, shoulders. So that was broken up. And then Tuesday, Fridays, legs.
Wow.
So, and then the other days were just like the back and arms were single days. So.
I know, like your body, like you said, it's like muscle memory, right? So your body gets used to it. Like I remember when I used to go to the gym and stuff. Like I would hate legs. I can't handle legs because I have to walk up and down the ladders and stuff.
Yeah.
That shit would suck.
Yeah.
But okay, so we talked about how you're doing the competition again. You're about to start. Let's go back a little bit.
Okay.
So, are you from Utah?
Yes.
Born and raised?
Yes.
What city?
Kaysville, Layton area
Okay.
for the most part.
Nice.
And what was the name of your favorite childhood pet? I'm just joking. You know those like background questions that they ask you? It's like, what the fuck?
That one was it. Like, what the? No, yeah. So how was that? How was that living in Utah? Were you raised LDS? Mm-hmm. Okay. And
Honestly, I loved it.
okay.
Like I don't know.
Yeah.
Like I had a great childhood and
Awesome.
yeah.
Yeah. You're like
I don't think I had any, no real bad experiences or anything. So
Got you. And are you? Do you still practice? Do you still?
I don't.
Okay.
I mean, I'll go to church randomly sometimes here and there, and I don't have any issue
Yeah.
with it.
Yeah.
It's just
So you're
kind
just
of
like me then.
just like you.
Exactly. But more fit.
Way more fit.
Oh Lord. Lord, I'm just joking.
No, you're good.
'Cause I go to church too sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you have no issue with it, no problem. Okay.
Yeah.
And so how was high school for you, or school in general? Were you as athletic in school as well, or?
Yes, I didn't do any sports in school. I did everything under the sun, like, you know, when I was young, like everything.
Okay.
Basketball, dance, clogging,
Oh, okay,
like
okay.
crazy. I just tried all these different things, right?
Nice.
And always kind of active, but I didn't do any sports in high school.
Okay. So no sports in high school. So what got you into into bodylifting and stuff like that? I mean, because I'm assuming you probably were doing that back then, right?
I actually didn't really get crazy into the gym and stuff until I was like 19, 20.
Okay. And then what did you stop for a while then, or did you continue since 1920?
Yeah.
You just kept on
Yeah,
going.
so I went to school for it when I was 23
Oh, damn.
for like fitness and nutrition and stuff.
Okay.
So
What-
ever
what-
since then.
You just got into it because you loved it so much, or what was it?
Did someone motivate you?
Well, actually, a big life change experience thing when I had gotten pregnant.
Okay.
That is what kind of triggered it.
When were you pregnant? At what age?
I had him while I was going to school for that
So
Oh.
at
23?
23. So I think I was 22
Okay.
when I ended up
Okay.
actually getting pregnant.
And what happened there? Like, was this with your boyfriend at the time, or?
So I was dating a guy. I started dating him when I was like 18, 19. And then that kind of like typical Utah culture where it's like, okay, you get to a certain point. Well, now you get married. Like that's what you do, right?
Right.
So we got married when I was 20, and it just like, it was fine. We just weren't meant to be together, right?
Gotcha.
We were too young. You know,
It just didn't work out.
right.
Right.
So then we were only together probably just under 2 years, and, you know, got divorced, and I was like, cool, like I'm doing my own thing now, and started hanging out with a group of people, and it was fun and partied and things like that. And, started dating this guy, and it was fine, but I was like, you know, I'd got divorced a little while ago. Like, I don't want anything serious. So we kind of need to,
Kind of.
yeah.
stop seeing
And
each
then
other.
about 2 weeks after I had told him that, I found out I was pregnant.
Oh wow! Wow. That's how it works.
Yeah.
That's how it works. Yeah.
And, yeah, I was like, I instantly knew I wanted to place him for adoption.
Oh, so you placed him for adoption? Wow. Why? Because of
So
the
I just-
relationship.
Yeah, I wasn't happy with where, like, I didn't have anything going for me.
Okay.
And it just wasn't a situation I wanted to be in with, like, and I think, I don't know, a big part of it was my parents were still together.
Okay.
And I feel like that's kind of a rare thing. And I had this, you know, I was crazy set on he needs to be with a mom and a dad and raised in a great family. Like, I have nothing. Like, you know, when I got divorced and moved out, I was living with a friend, and I just did not feel like
It was a crazy situation. You were,
yeah, like he deserved so much better. So,
Got you.
Were you already planning on going to school before you found out?
so
Okay.
that's kind of like when you had asked what made me do it. I was like, holy crap! Like, I could potentially be a single mom. Like, I need to have something that, you know, kind of like under my belt where I can
Right,
take
right.
care of him, where I can, you know,
Yeah.
do something, because I hadn't really gone to school or whatever after high school. So
How did the baby's father feel about that?
he was not happy.
Oh, he wasn't happy. Mm-mm. Did he want to keep him, and was that even an option?
So he wanted to still be together, and, you know, I was just like, this is not going to work, right? And I want to place him for adoption.
And I'm sorry for interrupting.
No, you're fine.
Real quickly, like what was it about that relationship that wasn't going to work, that you just didn't want to
I
be with
mean,
him?
we really like, I don't even know. Like, it was just based on, like, he is an amazing guy. But just partying and, you know what I mean? Like, where
wasn't-
I had no responsibilities. I didn't have to think about anything. And then all of a sudden it's like, holy
Damn.
shit.
Here's this
Now I have to
responsibility.
think,
Life
like,
slapped
it has
you in the
nothing to
face.
do with me anymore, right?
Yeah.
So, and just the whole situation of life right then was not what I wanted for him.
I got you. I got
So-
you. But okay. So then I'm sorry. Continue on with you. What you were saying that after that happened, you started thinking about.
Yeah, so I told him, you know, I was like, I want to place him for adoption, and he's like, no, like, I think we should try and keep him and, you know, whatever. And I was like, no, like, we're not together. Like, this is what I'm going to do.
Right.
And so I started going through an adoption agency, and him and I didn't really have any contact. Like, he would message me maybe every 6 weeks or so to you know, and just like, hey, how are things? And I'm like, they're fine. And that was it. Like, there was no questions. There was nothing. And then I started going to school. I was actually living in Tremont at this time and going to school in Layton. So that's about a 45-minute drive.
Okay.
So me and my girlfriend were going down there, and we would carpool because she was doing the same thing. And I just, like, when I was looking for a family, when I registered with this agency, they put you on their website, and you basically have like a profile. And then all these families that are looking for a kid have their own profile, right? Tells you about their family and their interests and all those things. And there are thousands and thousands of families. And I had like a social worker, and, you know, that made my profile and stuff. And I would go on, and she's like, you can look and search and, you know, read about these families. And if you ever find one that interests you and you want to meet them, like, let me know. So I'd go on there, and I'm like, holy crap. Like, this is not like shopping online for
Yeah,
clothes
Yeah.
or picking out a puppy. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it was crazy. And I just was like, I have no idea how do you pick who you're going to give your child to?
Right.
So, I ended up just like, I just got frustrated, and I stopped looking. And my social worker one day was like, I've noticed you haven't really logged on there for a little while. And I was like, well, yeah, like, I don't get it. Like, how I
am
need
I
to
supposed
feel
to pick?
something, right?
Yeah.
So at this, I always I'm terrible with time frames, but at this point I was probably, I don't even know, probably had like 4 months left. Like,
Okay.
I was, you know, that far along.
Yeah.
And so we're sitting at the end of our nutrition class in school, and me and my girlfriend are just talking, and she's like, yeah, like, you haven't found a family? Like, and I was like, no, dude, I don't get it. Like, how do I do this?
Yeah.
And our professor, her name's Stephanie, she's like, you haven't found a family yet? And I was like, no. And my girlfriend Cammie was like, Stephanie, you should adopt him. Like, just being funny. And then we all laughed and, you know,
Yeah.
went home or whatever. So we're driving home back to Tremont, and my phone rings, and it's Stephanie. And she was like, you know, a little nervous, and she goes, hey, I have no idea, like, what I'm even doing, like, what's going on. But ever since Cammie had made that joke, she's like, I have been sick. I have butterflies in my stomach. I called my husband, and I told him about the situation, and he said, you have nothing to lose. Like, why don't you just, and she goes, this is so crazy, but I want to tell you that we're interested in adopting your baby.
Wow.
And I'm like, okay, like, you know. And so she's like, well, I want to tell you about our family and stuff. So at class next week, I'm going to bring you, she basically like made like this little cute scrapbook thing. And
Like what, her family tree or something? Or
no, just her. So it was her and her husband. They actually already,
family tree. I don't know. Like, hey, this is my grandpa. I'm
yeah,
joking.
no. And so they actually already had a son. He was 8 or 9. And so just telling about their family and their interests and what they do and things like that. So she brought that, and, you know, I took it home and like went through it, and, you know what I mean, prayed about it. I gave it to my parents. I'm like, you know, I want you guys to just, you know, just look at it. Like, just,
Gotcha.
you know, whatever.
Yeah.
So, and what's funny is, so the biological dad is like 6'4", and I'm like, oh my gosh, like I can't choose like some, you know, like
Short
I just
family?
felt like, I know that sounds so dumb and it doesn't even matter, but I'm like, I can't choose like some short dad and then his son's gonna be massive. So
Why not? He'll protect them.
I know.
Yeah.
So Stephanie's like, I want you to obviously meet my husband, so we want to take you to dinner. And I was like, okay. So we go to a restaurant and they are already there, and I walk in and I walk around the corner and they're standing there waiting, and he's like massive.
Oh.
The dad. I was like,
It
that's
works
cool.
out.
Like,
yeah.
so we had dinner. It was great. You know, it was a few days later and I was like I just loved it. I'm like, okay. And so I call her. I'm like, I don't know how to do this. Like, this is weird, but I'm picking you. And she starts screaming, you know. So, ever since, as you know, when I picked them, she basically kind of became the dad. So she, you know, like kind of what the dad's
Like,
role would do. She was with
you
me
need
at
to
every
eat, or-
appointment.
yeah, okay.
She, anything I needed, like,
She was there.
amazing.
Wow.
And we became like such good friends. Like we were like sisters.
Wow.
And it was crazy because like we'd go to the store and be looking at stuff and I'm like, oh yeah, your baby. Like it was just natural. Like to call it.
Her baby.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah. So, I remember too, like so there was also a part. So I was working at a flower shop and, this little old grandpa dude came in and he's like, are you Lacie? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, oh, here, and gives me these papers. He's like, you've been served. So the dad and his mom,
The father of your child. Okay.
ended up, I mean, I don't know what you exactly call it, but like suing me type thing to stop the adoption. And so Stephanie had to get her a lawyer plus me a separate lawyer and all these different things. And there's stuff in like laws in Utah to where a dad to prove paternity and things like that. They just have to go through these steps,
process,
right? That are pretty basic and things like that. So we were going through that or whatever and through the whole time. And every night I prayed, I was just like, all I want is him to go where he's supposed to go and to be happy and to make me be at peace with it.
Gotcha.
Like if that's stays with me and we co-parent, whatever, like just put him where he's supposed to be.
Yeah.
And so, it came down to it and I had him. And so if those certain things weren't done, like legally by the court, whatever, on his end, 24 hours after I had him, I was able to sign without his consent.
Oh, wow.
So
Is that what happened?
yeah.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Did at any point with the time coming close, did you ever feel like maybe I'm want to keep him or never?
So that's what's crazy is I don't know. I've always been somebody who's like, I'm very tough, but I also would, which I've worked on a lot about being vulnerable because everyone needs to be vulnerable.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's like, I don't need to be vulnerable. Like I'm tough. I can do this. Like, and I always knew, like, even when we would get different papers from the lawyers or hear something, Stephanie would be like, I don't know how you're not freaking out right now. Like I'm freaking out. And I'm like, I just felt so good and at peace the whole time.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I just knew as long as I'm being honest and doing like, it's what's supposed to happen is going to happen. Right.
Yeah.
So, I never, and after years later, Stephanie was like, I always was so worried that like I'd get a call and you'd be like, no, I can't do it. Like I'm keeping him or, and I was like, I never had that doubt. But so there is the crazy part. So after I had him, it was just like normal. Like if I was going to keep him, you're in there like 2-ish days, right? So they would bring him in and whatever.
You would
I'd hold
feed
him. And Stephanie was there hanging out, my mom, things like that. So after the 24 hours and we signed and all that stuff, they discharged me and they were like, you guys just have to carry him down to the nursery and you can, they'll discharge him and you guys are good to go. So it was me, my dad, and my mom my older sister and Stephanie and her husband. And we're all sitting in my room and I'm holding him. And we were like getting ready to go and I completely lost it. Like couldn't talk, hysterical, and just holding him like it was just the craziest feeling.
Well, I mean, I would assume so because
Right.
I mean you're holding the baby in your belly for 9 months or so, and it's like you create a bond.
Yeah. So it was funny, like when Steph and I had told the story later on, you know, I was like, yeah, like I just like I couldn't even talk.
Wow.
I was just and they were all just silent and they just let me
Be
sit there.
It, yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, you know, it was like a half hour. And then I was finally able to talk. And Stephanie's like laughing. And she goes, it's funny when you're in those moments and you're in trauma or whatever, time isn't like, you can't register time, right? And she
Right.
goes, it was 2 hours.
Wow.
that
So
we
you were
sat
sitting there
and
just-
she said just,
Wow.
and I finally was able to talk. And I was like, hey, Steph, can I carry him to the nursery? And she's like, yeah. So we all, you know, went down and I'm like, I probably looked like a crazy person in the hall, like hysterical. They're following me with, it was just, yeah. So we go to the nursery and me and Steph go in and my parents and them, you know, they have the big glass windows. They're standing outside and they were working with other babies. So they sat us in 2 rocking chairs and I was just like, I just like couldn't even, you know
Let
what I
go,
mean? Like
yeah.
I didn't know what, I don't know. It was the weirdest thing. So my dad finally, he like opens the door to the nursery, comes in, he grabs him out of my arms, gives him to Stephanie, and then grabs my arm and pulls me out.
Oh, wow.
And I don't remember leaving the hospital. I don't remember the drive home.
So you straight up blanked out. You
My dad slept on the couch and I slept with my mom.
Oh, wow.
And I remember waking up that first morning and had the like deepest, darkest like feeling, like there was literally a piece of me gone.
Wow.
But I still never had a feeling of like I want him back. Like I just knew that was where he was supposed to go.
Wow.
So and it just got a little bit better every day. And
Well, that's, you know, one thing that's cool is that your parents were there.
Yeah.
Supporting you.
yes,
For
and- sure.
And especially that lady, what was her name again?
Stephanie.
Stephanie.
Do you still keep in contact with her? So you, I
yeah,
mean,
they
he's-
live like 10 minutes away from us. He knows who I am. And
Do you speak with him?
yeah, not often, but like, I mean, I, you know, went to his football game last year and
Wow. Is
Yeah,
he
it's cool.
is he a big dude? Mm-hmm. Oh, for real?
I think he has like, Stephanie always was like, holy crap. But so his birthday, he was born on April 20th. So he'll be, oh my gosh, I'm terrible. He'll be 13.
Yeah.
But he has like, I think she said like a 12 or 13 size shoe or something. Like he's so big, but
She's
yeah,
not like,
it's-
I'm
it's,
happy. Yeah,
it's
yeah.
funny. Like
So-
it's a crazy, it's a
Did
crazy
you ever?
story.
Well, definitely it is, and you know, psychologically, that must have been hard for you, in all aspects. One aspect of that would be, were you ever afraid of people judging you for what you did?
So what's crazy is I moved to maybe like it was not very long after that. Within that year, I moved to Delaware on the
Okay.
East Coast, right? So I hadn't talked to once that was done in court, like that day when I had signed, I hadn't talked to him or anybody or anything, right? I kind of knew that I would see him again.
Who, the father?
Yeah. Like I just always had like this, I don't know why. But I don't even know. It's crazy. So I moved back 5 years later, which was the very end of 2017, beginning of 2018. And at that point it had been 7 years
Wow.
since. I ended up going to, well, actually, I had a friend that I was hanging out with that was at a bar, and it was like 10 o'clock at night, and they called me, and they're like, hey, he's here. And I was like, what? And I don't even know why. Like, I was at home, like, in bed, and I was like, I'm coming there.
You wanted to see him?
Yeah. Like, it was the weirdest feeling. I don't know what I didn't know what was going through my mind. I didn't know what I was even going to do. And I walk in and I like come around, and I see him and I come around to the front of him and I like stand right in front of him and he's like looked like he'd seen a ghost. And I was like, hi. It was
Wow.
it was crazy. And I was so angry with him over those years just because of the whole court thing and because of like him not understanding, like you want to keep him for selfish reasons because you say he's yours, that you made him, but you
Can't provide for
Is that
him.
selfish though?
I don't know. To me as a mom, this is the way, and that's what the thing is. I had a lot of people that were like, especially, because he's from a small town. So everybody on his side was like, she's going to get what's coming to her, like stole her baby. And that makes sense, right? Mm-hmm. But my side is like, which we both were like, we were partying, we were going to bars, we were literally had nothing. And that is, I woke up and was like, I don't want that. Like, I just don't want that for my child. Like, that's not a parent I want for my child. And to me, like, that was my job to pick the right, I don't know, what I thought was best for him.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So I had this, whatever you want to call it, like resentment, animosity towards him. And, I'd heard over the years, that it was just like this huge, crazy thing up there where everyone, and he would post on his birthday every year, like, one day I hope to meet you and things like that. And then there would be all these comments about, oh my gosh, like, that bitch is gonna, like, just all this stuff.
Yeah.
Which makes, like, it is what it is, right? That's their side. Like, that's what they know.
Right.
So anyway, when I saw him, I just, felt so, like, I just had so much love for him. And not, like, in love, but just, like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I was like, and I told him, I said, hey, we need to go to lunch. Like, we need to talk and you can ask me whatever you want to ask me. And he just kind of like melted and was like, I would love that.
Wow.
I was like, yeah. So we set it up and I actually called Stephanie and I said, hey, craziest thing, like, I saw him and we're going to go to lunch. And what are you okay with, me talking about and things like that? And so we kind of talked and it's just crazy, like, when there wasn't communication, which a lot of the hurt and anger could have been.
And I guess why did you have to call her and ask her, like, what things you could talk about or not?
So, I mean, like, his name and things like that.
Okay.
Right? Like, who knows? I mean, people are crazy in this world. Like, he didn't live far. He doesn't live far from us, stuff like that. Like, what if he went home, talks to his friends, talks to his mom, and they go and
try to
take
him.
Like something crazy, you know what I mean? And so it's a legal thing and stuff like that. So I wanted to respect her. Like, this is her child now. And so we went and he kind of had thought that, like, I placed him for adoption and I didn't know, like, that was done. I didn't know anything about him. I didn't know where he was, like, nothing. So he had this deep, crazy feeling of, I'm never going to know this child or know where he is or know what's going on.
Right.
And I was like, no, like, that is not, like, I'm so sorry that you have hurt for 7 years.
Right.
I didn't, like, it was just communication that we didn't communicate. And I was like, no, I know where he is. I know who he is. I know all these things. And he was like, oh my gosh, like, that, you have no idea how much better that makes me feel. Like, it was crazy. And so, we actually ended up, me and Stephanie really wanted to meet him. So us three went and met and she saw him and she just melted. Like, just started crying and hugged him. And so now it's really cool that Stephanie and him have a relationship. He gets pictures. He gets all these things. It's kind of a different situation where he hasn't met him or anything yet because it's just never been talked about. Like, he knows that he came from me, but doesn't really understand
the whole father part.
I had to have somebody to
Right.
make him.
Right.
So we all, we've all had good conversations. We're on the same page, and we know one day that
It's going to happen.
we're going to have that conversation, and things are going to change.
Wow.
And he's probably going to want to be,
Part
in
of his
our
life.
lives a certain way and things like that. But me and, we have a really good relationship now.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad that it's like that from what it started
From what
out
it
to be.
was.
Yeah.
So
Man,
it turned out
that's
really
cool.
cool.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually I was quiet most of the time, only because I actually went through what you're talking about.
Okay.
So, but the opposite.
Yeah.
Right. And that's why I asked you: is that selfish?
Yeah. Well, I've heard, and I get it. Like, that's why I'm like, I didn't understand, like, me being, we were both young, but not really understanding, because I'm in my position, right?
Right.
My feelings, what my thoughts are, things like that. I'm doing what I feel like I need to do. But on the other side of it, that's why I said where communication could have been huge. Just this other person is having this completely different experience, completely sad and broken, and it is sad.
It's
and
traumatizing.
I've heard some stories kind of like that, but are so sad and so much worse that it is sad.
Yeah, I was gonna say something about you, but I was like, nah, that's your business.
Well, no,
I
it's
don't know.
it was a fucked up thing for me, and it still is. But it's funny that you say that. You said you were 23 when you had your kid. Mm-hmm. So I was 23 as well. When
Oh,
that
wow.
happened. And yeah, no, I was with somebody, and I don't know what the hell was going on in their mind, but they decided, to lie to me and tell me that they lost a baby, and whatever, we broke up, and her mom and her sister were like telling me, like, hey, like, she's still pregnant, right? And so whatever, I tried talking to her, this and that. I was 23 years old, right? Anyways, day comes, she's at because for the first 4 months she was pregnant, like, it was cool, like, you know what I mean? Whatever, we were gonna do it, and I was taking her to, like, her doctor's appointments and whatnot, and then I was doing what I had to do as a man, and it just, I don't know, she just, like, I don't know, changed her mind one day, just flipped on me completely. And she told me she lost a baby, blah, 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 blah. I didn't see her for a couple of weeks or months. And then, yeah, I went to the hospital because her sister's boyfriend told me, she's like, oh, dude, she's at the hospital, having the baby. So I went over there. I was just, like, trying to get her. I was like, look, because I'd already heard rumors about that she wanted to give the baby out for adoption, And I show up, and I was like, yeah, like, look, if you don't want to be in the baby's life, you don't have to be, but don't give the baby up for adoption. I'll take the baby. I'll take full responsibility, And, yeah, she had me kicked out of the hospital. She called security on me. She had me kicked out. And then I went to a lawyer, right? But at the time, I just didn't have the money for a lawyer, right? And it just never happened. And from what I hear, the baby's out in Idaho now, right? So there is a little Ruben out there somewhere. I've never met him. I never met him, which is fucked up, and it still kills me to this day.
Yeah.
I don't really like talking about it. When people ask me if I have kids, I say no because I really don't.
Right.
I never even met the kid, But yeah, he's out there. At least he's with a good family. I mean,
Yeah.
I guess. But like I always wanted to meet him, so hopefully
Yeah.
one day that happens. But I don't know.
Do you and I'm sorry for interrupting you because
No, go ahead.
But do you ever hear other stories about other people that have been in a similar situation?
Yeah. So I've, people think our story is like crazy just because normally you don't have the relationships like you have
Right.
like that. And so one of the things too, that kind of made me, not that I wasn't going to say it, but before I even told him that I was pregnant, I was like, I'm just going to move back down home out of here. And like, he won't even, so initially with how we were and with like, I mean, I was not doing great things. To me, like, he's this bad boy party or whatever. Right. So initially I was like, if anything, I would want to be a single mom. Like, I just don't, his lifestyle going back and forth between our houses, like that just terrified me as I don't know why.
Yeah.
And so at first I'm like, I'm just not going to tell him.
Yeah.
Right. It'll be fine. Like, he won't know I'll be down here and he won't even know. And then I heard this story which I'm so glad I did, that there was a girl who had gotten pregnant and she didn't want him to know. And so she never told him, placed the kid for adoption. The family was out of Arizona, and the dad found out when the kid was 8 years old, and he got a lawyer, went to court, and it went all the way to the Supreme Court. And the judge ended up taking the child from his family at 8 years old and giving him to the dad.
To the father.
Yeah.
And that terrified me. So that's when I was like, I just told myself every night when I prayed, I said, I will be 100% honest in all of these things I'm doing. With him, with what's going on, just make this baby go where he's supposed to go and make me be okay with it and be at peace with it. And so I'm glad that happened, and I'm glad I didn't choose, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
To lie and to hide it.
Yeah.
But it is crazy when you look there then and now, the things that have transpired and the relationships that we have now because of it are, I'm so glad that it is that way.
I've never heard a story like yours, in a sense of where, you know, all the people involved, all the parties are like cool.
Yeah.
And they know, and
Yeah. You know, so that's really awesome. I mean, you know, I think there's people that kind of need to hear your story, and thank you so much for sharing that, because that's very personal. Yeah. And like you said, you put yourself out there, you're vulnerable now, right?
Yeah.
And you got to learn how to be that way. I'm trying to be vulnerable, but it's kind of hard. So
I was laughing. I laughed when you said that when you saw him again and then you said hi or whatever. Because if my ex would have done that to me, I'd have been like, "What the fuck do you want?" Like,
Yeah.
you know what I
Well,
mean?
it
Like,
was
you
just-
wouldn't-
get the fuck out of my face.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
wouldn't
and
want
that's
to-
honestly
I would've
and I
sent her to hell.
knew,
I
yeah,
would've
and I
sent-
knew how he felt and stuff, just through people and mutual
Right,
friends and
right.
stuff, and I didn't know.
Right.
I just was like, I have to go there.
Yeah.
Like I had this feeling like I need to see him.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
need to go there. And I asked him the same thing, and he was just like, he goes, I actually thought I'd never see you again. He goes, I never thought I'd see you again. And I said, I always knew that I would see you again. And, you know, I said, well, what did you feel like when you saw me and stuff? And he goes, I would have thought, like, over the years, playing it in my head, that I would just
Like you would hide
hate
away.
you.
Oh.
Like you know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
when he
yeah.
saw me, like I would just, and he said he felt the exact same way. He was like, I just melted.
Wow.
Like we just both had this,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah,
I
yeah,
don't
yeah.
know.
At peace.
So
in a sense,
yeah.
man, that's incredible. That's like, I mean, once again, coming from a dad's perspective, I think that I would have been
Yeah.
fucking, I don't know, mad.
I know.
Pissed
and
off.
no, and I, you know, I told him over and I said, if I could take back how you felt like all those years and like that, still to this day, I feel it, you know what I mean? I would never want to do that to somebody on purpose. And like, even hearing your story, like knowing I talked to him and that feeling, like I know, I don't know how you feel, but I know that empathy I had for him in those conversations. And so I am truly sorry that you have had that,
cool. It
because it
happens.
is not, I wouldn't wish that on anybody, and those situations are never easy on any side. And
Yeah.
I'm more than anything like, if you know what happened, and he's obviously with a good family, but like I definitely want him to know who he is and who I am.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
that, like, that's not what I wanted, you know.
no,
That's not what I wanted. And that he was loved. Like, I don't know. Like, sometimes I think about it, I'm like, man, I wonder if these adopted kids think that their parents just like didn't want them, you know. Like, you know, when you're a kid, you just,
of course,
you don't understand.
That's hard to, you can't
And
process that. When
I
you're a
would
kid.
never want my kid to think that
You didn't want him.
you know, that's
Yeah.
because that's the complete opposite.
Right.
But yeah,
But
it is what it is,
but
you know?
at the same time, like I understand your position in a sense where you felt like you didn't have nothing to give him, nothing to offer him in a sense. You know what I'm saying? So you kind of had to make that move. But once again, it's a tricky situation when it comes to your situation.
Yeah, that's.
Well, you know what? I
that's
did
really
actually see
sad.
my ex, and you know, I'm sure she had her reasons, but like I saw her, she's for the streets, dude. She's not doing good right now. So
Yeah.
I mean, you know, I don't have that problem, but
Right.
she's crazy. So
So, you know, now you don't. You still talk to Stephanie, her husband, and everything. You said he's playing sports. He's in sports now. Oh
yeah,
wow.
he does football.
Okay, football. Wow. What position?
Wide receiver, quarterback.
I don't know. No.
Well, he's tall, right? So I mean, wide receiver.
I know.
Just catch the
Yeah.
ball for everybody.
Yeah. So
I was the ass back. Because every time I said, "Coach, put me in," he said, "Marcus, get your ass back."
So around this time, so we met you like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
2 years ago, 3 years ago.
Yeah.
At the MMA fights at the Maverick Center.
Yes.
Oh, that's
with
right.
with our guy.
We're sitting like 2 rows back from
so
you guys.
Funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember seeing
Yeah.
you guys walk up, and I remember seeing Rob, and I remember seeing you.
Yeah. So
And
with
we're-
our guy Rob, you were with Rob. At that time. What do you remember from that day?
I remember sitting there, and I feel like he kept like looking over at you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was weird. It's
Yeah,
like
yeah,
it was
yeah.
we're supposed to meet.
And I think I was like, "Do you know them?" Or like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
But we were looking at you guys too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know
it
what
was
I mean?
like a back and forth.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
wait.
but he's just like that. Like he, especially with what he does, like he talks to people,
Yeah.
and people are comfortable with him and stuff. And so, and then all of a sudden, I think he like just gets up and goes over there, and I'm like,
No,
okay.
No.
Fonzie
I went
got
up
Oh,
there.
you
Yeah,
did.
yeah,
See,
yeah.
I don't
Go
even
over and
know.
talk to you guys.
I'm like, all I know is you guys started talking at one point. So
So it was interesting because that was happening, right? The back and forth.
What happened?
Here, Mike.
Oh yeah, sorry.
There you go, there you go.
I
Speak
turned
up,
off the
man.
mic. Sorry about that. Go ahead.
We were looking back and forth, and Fonzie, he likes to talk and to anybody,
He's the social butterfly.
but we've been drinking, right?
yeah,
And I don't know what he was thinking, so I'm like, oh man. We started to get up to go get more drinks, and we're walking, and he's walking behind me, and I turn around, and he's talking to Rob, and I'm like, oh my gosh, we're gonna have to fight. I don't want to fight, like I was stressing. I'm like, hey, Fonzie, I got close. I'm like, what are you doing? And they were just talking, and I'm like,
well, when you see Rob, it's like
yeah, I mean,
he's
he
intimidating.
looks like he's gonna murder someone all the
Yes.
time. So.
yeah.
He does. Yeah, that was funny because he's like, bro, leave him alone. Like, don't mess with him.
Hey, since we've mentioned his name, shout out Rob Eastman.
Yeah, definitely.
With
Shout out
Eastman
Rob
Fitness.
Eastman.
Yeah.
That's our
so,
guy.
So they were talking. I'm like, we'll just go get our drinks and sit back down there.
But I remember that, man, that day so clearly. I remember you especially, you know what I'm saying? Because you kept looking too, and I don't know if it was like a worried face or that like, damn, what's about to happen?
Well, I'm like, why are you looking over there? Like, what do you need to talk to them for?
Yeah, it's because leprechauns know each other, man. You know what I'm saying? Leprechauns get along. And Rob's gonna kick my ass. Nah, he's not. But yeah, it was cool to meet you guys. You guys were like dope, man. And then we got invited to the gym, and then we started going to the gym a lot. That's where I met you. We got a little bit more. How would you call that? What would you call that?
Acquainted.
There you go. Thank you for the word.
I'm firing on all
Yeah.
cylinders tonight, baby.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah.
go.
So it's like, man, it was cool. And at that time, you still weren't doing you weren't training for for this competition.
Yeah.
But you were doing like meal prep plans, and you
Right.
were helping people out with
Yeah.
with their lifestyle, I guess, with their diet. Are you still doing that? Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Do you have a lot of clients that come to you?
Yeah.
How's that business? Is that basically like your
Yeah,
side
that's
business?
pretty much what. Well, no, that's pretty much what I do.
Okay.
So
So people could reach out to
fitness,
you.
nutrition, mental health. Yeah.
Okay. Man.
Where do they hit you up if they want to?
I usually it's just my Instagram. So yeah, it's Lacie_J_official.
Yeah.
But
So
You heard that, everyone. For you guys, I know you guys do the new year, new me, and if you guys are fitness, you guys have some fitness goals. Hit up Lacie. Hit up Lacie.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's
Hit
do
her up,
it.
DM her, and she'll get you right.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say, so right after you graduated, is that what you did right off the bat?
But you were also working at a doctor's office, though.
yeah, so crazy. From 20 years old to 25, I was married and divorced twice, and had a child and placed him for adoption. Not with either of those guys.
Wow.
People are always like,
Wait, what?
What?
I got confused.
Wait, so
Yeah.
you got married twice and divorced, but you didn't have a child from neither.
Nope.
Yeah.
So the child was in between.
Oh, okay.
I went back to, I was in school. I took I think I took 2 weeks off when I had him. went back, met this dude, and cute, sweet talker. Like I
Rob?
was nope.
I'm joking.
I was obviously extremely vulnerable at that time, like, and just sucked it right up. And we started dating. Things went really fast. Ended up going to the courthouse, getting married. He worked for a civilian contract company on the base. They got a 2-year thing out on Dover Air Force Base in Delaware.
Okay.
We were already not doing good. But, you know, I had this dumb thought that we'll go out there and we won't have any family or friends and it will just be us and we'll have to depend on each other and it'll be great. And he was a very bad alcoholic, and which kind of came out. I knew before we had moved, but came out after we were already together and stuff.
Wait, and hold on. I'm sorry. Would you drink? Did you ever drink?
I did.
Did
Yeah.
you? Were you? Because you say you were into party. You were used to party. Mm-hmm. Were you doing drugs as well?
Nope.
Okay, just drinking.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
You can wink and the audio won't catch it. We'll edit it out of the video. I'm joking.
So we moved there. Things went downhill real quick. It got really bad. I ended up leaving him. Okay, so I started working at this like country line dance bar as a waitress, bartender, which was so fun. Because he was on swing shifts and I wanted to be kind of on his same work schedule.
Yeah.
I made really good friends there. It was a husband and wife that owned it, and they took me in like their own. And ended up one night, like, you know, my parents were worried, and they came over, some of them with a trailer, and I ended up leaving him in the night while he was at work.
Oh wow.
And, you know, he had ended up getting more DUIs and things like that. I heard afterwards. And my dad flew my mom out on a red eye, and we were sitting there at breakfast, and she's like, you know, your dad expects me to bring you back, right? And I was like, I know. And I was like, I think I also was ashamed a little bit, like a little bit embarrassed to come back, because I freaking just got with this dude out of nowhere, got married in the courthouse, moved across the country. Like, I sat and looked at it. It was like, what is wrong with you? Like, I know what everyone else is going to think. And I was like, I am going to stay. I was like a girl that I worked with. We were getting an apartment together, and I was like, I'm going to stay for a year just because I love Utah, but I see a different culture, like hang out,
Different
whatever.
scenery, different environment.
So, it was fun. I was working and ended up meeting this guy, and we started dating. And then my girlfriend worked at a dermatologist, and she was like, hey, like, you should come work here. Is it a private practice? And I was like, I've never been to school for medical. Like, no. And she goes, no, like, he will train you on site. And I was like, okay. So I started doing that and was everything dermatology and loved it. And then about a year and a half later, went and took the state medical assistant test. And
you passed it? With
well,
flying
not
colors
the
or
first
what?
time.
No, that's okay.
Oh, no. I was not a school person. And then ended up being there 5 years.
Oh, wow.
It kind of flew by, and I was like, holy crap. And so, yeah, I'd moved back here very end of 2017.
Okay.
And then started working for a dermatologist here. So a total of 8 years I was at a dermatologist.
Okay.
And was doing just random fitness, nutrition stuff on the side the whole time.
2017, is that around the time you met Rob as well? Or
No, I met Rob in August of 2019.
August 2019.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you guys started working together with the whole... did he already have his company at that time?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he'd been established for a while.
Okay.
And so what was crazy is I pretty much was at the point at the dermatologist to where if I wanted to really do more, like I was assisting with surgeries for skin cancer surgeries with the doctor, like everything. And I loved all of it.
Yeah.
But it got to the point where I was just like, I need more. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
And I was kind of just lost after moving back and not really knowing what I was really supposed to do.
Right.
But I always knew that I was supposed to do something
Okay.
more, like something, I don't know. And I was like serial dating because I was bored, and I was, you know what I mean? It was just like not anything. Like seriously, that's what I call it. Like
you make yourself sound like a predator. Or
it
something.
sounds crazy. No, like really though. Like I was just like, I would seriously. Like, there was weeks I'd go on like 3 different dates, and we would just go to dinner.
Were they
something.
weird? Were they weird
I can just
sometimes?
imagine
No,
you
it
on-
wasn't even that. But I almost felt bad because it was like I wasn't looking for a relationship. Like I wasn't in a place to be in a relationship. I was just like needing something to do.
Yeah.
And I got to a point where I was like, I have to stop. Like, this is not helping me. This is not fair to whoever I'm dating or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, I have to stop everything and just figure out what I want to do.
Yeah.
So I was going to the gym and I loved it. And social media, like I wasn't really crazy into that at that time. But I would just start posting things like me at the gym and like motivational sayings and whatever. And I had people start reaching out to me, especially women, that was like, oh my gosh, like, you know, I want to work out with you. I want to blah, blah, blah. And I was like, well, yeah, come work out with me. And, you know, like, oh, well, I need to lose some weight and look better first before I come to the gym with you. And I was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Like that doesn't even make sense. And I'd never really had like a low self-esteem or anything. Like
Right.
just, you know what I mean? It was just kind of general. And it really shocked me when I started talking to these people, how like poorly women thought, men in general, like men and women too, but just crazy.
Yeah. How people
Like,
think of themselves, their
Just-
insecurities.
yeah. And I was like, it is so sad. And I was like, I need to help these people. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm going to do. And Life Coach hadn't really blown up with all the, you know,
Right, right.
Instagrammers and stuff yet. And so I didn't really even know that term. And I would just kind of post things. And so I started listening to, like driving to work, like just like mentor things and motivational speeches and all this stuff. And it was like, if you are wanting to do something not normal, like not your 9-to-5 job, you need a mentor.
Yeah.
Like you need somebody. And I'm like sitting there thinking, how in the hell do you find, like, do I Google, hey, need a mentor? Like, how do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was like, that was so foreign to me. Like I had no, like,
Well, there's an app now where you could just look up local mentors. You know that,
well,
right?
there probably is
No, I'm
now.
joking. No,
I'm like,
It's called Lamentor.
mentor.
no, I had no like entrepreneurial background, anything like that,
Yeah.
right? And so I remember it was probably like a couple weeks later, and I was like, freak, like I don't even know how to do this. Like, how do you just do your own stuff? And I was actually at the hairdresser's, like was platinum blonde at that time. And I was under the heater thing with the foils, and I'm just like on the phone, and I get this friend request, and then I get this message in my DMs.
Yeah.
And it was Rob Eastman.
Oh, wow. Interesting. Okay. He hit the
He's
DMs.
gonna kill me for telling me. Yeah. What's funny is people are always like, "How did you guys meet?" And he's all, "Oh my gosh, she like came into my DMs, and I was like, okay, right." And he was like,
You know, he told me to show him this episode before it airs, right?
Oh, yeah,
So he's
I'm
gonna make me
sure.
No, I'm joking. I'm
yeah,
joking.
take that out. And he, you know, so I looked at his stuff, and he has all of his, you know, his podcast, and he had all of his cool stuff on there.
Right.
And he was like, "What do you do?" And I was like, I don't really know. Like, I want to start working with people and women. And I was like, I have no idea. Like, I don't know what it's called. I don't know what direction to go. And he's like, I actually speak in schools, and I have a gym, and I do this stuff. And he's like, I'll
Let's do
help
something.
you.
Yeah.
And I was like, so weird, right? After I was just like, how in the hell do I find a mentor? But so I went and met him in his gym, and we did a workout, and we just talked about different stuff. And he was like, you should start coming to the evening classes. And I was like, okay. So I did that. And then eventually, like, it was crazy because we had talked about it a while later. That first day that we had met, we had not seen each other. Mm-hmm. I don't even know. We saw each other every day after that because of the gym and different stuff like that. And then it just kind of gradually faded and like grew into, you know what I mean? Like more of a personal relationship.
Yeah.
But I started doing classes at the gym. I was doing like my own just random meal prep for me. And some of the clients there were like, could you meal prep for us? I was like, I guess. And so that's where that started. So now I meal prep every weekend for people for their whole week. I've done that for
So when you
over
say you
3
meal
years.
prep for them, you're actually making the meals?
Yeah.
Wow.
How much do you charge? Or does it depend on the person?
Well, so usually it's just to keep it simple. It's 10 meals for the week, and it's $100.
Okay.
A lot of people will do them like for their own like lunch and dinner. So all they have to worry about is breakfast and snacks. Some people share them with their spouses or whatever. It just depends.
Okay. Well, it's not bad. Okay, awesome. But okay, so then you guys started working and stuff. Like what is something that you learned from working with Rob and stuff that you didn't know about? Like especially the whole mentor stuff and stuff. How was he mentoring you?
Tons of stuff, actually, like business stuff. I just didn't, you know what I mean? Like I just didn't grow up with that.
Mm-hmm.
He grew up with all of that.
Right.
So, I mean, even just how to like market yourself and how to like I already have always been like a really good people person. I can talk to people. It's easy and stuff like that. But yeah, just like how to do things on social media, how to grow your business, how to get people to see you, how to,
Okay.
different ways of coaching, so I mean, just tons of stuff.
Do you still get those ladies that, hey, I want to come work out, but I have to work on myself first?
Yeah. I mean, I have like people that are like, I want to look like you. And I'm like, well, why? Like, don't you want to look like you, but a healthier version? And they're like, oh, well, yeah, that's what I meant. And that's what's so hard is I like social media and stuff. It is killing people's mental health.
Yeah.
Do you ever feel like you don't want to post stuff because of that, because of other people feeling bad or?
Yeah. Well, you know what's crazy too is I'm actually was thinking about the other day. I'm gonna repost it because it's like way down on my Instagram. But I have this terrible like picture of me, like when I was just like kind of doing random stuff and didn't really care, wasn't eating, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then to when I was really getting into stuff, and so I made a side by side and was just like people, you're not born like this, right? Yeah. Like this muscle just isn't here. It doesn't appear overnight.
Right.
And, being real like that with people and, letting them know, like that's been a huge thing.
Yeah. I just feel like, I think that women see you and they're like, man, like I'm intimidated to even go up to her and ask her or even, get advice. Like how do you open up and like, I guess, attract the women to talk to you and ask questions? Little videos. I tried it, like even just, like on my story and things like that, like, and just being real with them. Like there's days it sucks, you know what I mean? But having somebody in your corner, having somebody there that has been in that position to like, I mean, there's times I don't even now don't want to get out of bed. Yeah. Like just because I'm in this position, I'm not perfect. Like I have days that I'm like, I eat cheeseburgers. You know what I mean?
You do?
That sounds good.
It just is, you know what I mean? It's not, and the fitness thing it's gotten huge, but it still has a very, like people have a very skewed perception of it, It's like, oh, I can't eat salads all day, every day. I'm like, I can't remember the last time I ate a salad. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, it just isn't like that. And it's just helping people understand that you can do it without killing yourself and starving yourself and just.
But it is.
I have a friend that says that he works out just so that he can eat whatever he wants.
Yeah. Well, and
not get fat.
Guys can do that a lot easier than
girls. Yeah, true. Yes. Yeah. But don't they say that it's 90% your eating habits and 10% your training, your physical training?
Yeah.
So if it depends on your diet, then I mean, do people really?
Well, it depends on what you're looking for too, right? Like, so aesthetically, what you want to look like, the cleaner you're eating, the better you're going to look, right? Like, you hear those things where it's like, hey, if you're going to just go home and eat like shit but work your ass off at the gym, you're wasting your time, which in a sense, depending on what your goal is, that's true. But also, like, your body needs movement. You need exercise. Like, you're not wasting your time.
Right.
But, you know, I had a girl, and it's crazy because I'll be in the gym and, you know, you go at the same time, you start seeing the same people, right? So I see people that are in there and they are just killing themselves in there. And months later, they look the exact same.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's sad because I know, like, all you need to do is we just need to look at some of your stuff and tweak some of your nutrition, right? Like, you don't even have to get crazy. Like, and it just is so sad. I actually had one of my clients, I had seen her in there forever and she'd seen me, and we ended up talking one day, and she was like, I had a conversation with my husband and he wasn't trying to be rude, but he was like, you've been going to the gym for 5 years. And he said, what are you going for? Because nothing has changed.
Yeah.
Like, she's probably strong and feels good, but for what she wants, you know, obviously women, like, we want to be leaner, you know,
Yes.
we want to look good in a swimsuit. And she just, nothing was changing. And I was like,
I want that too for women. No, I'm joking. I'm joking.
I want you to look
For
good.
my women.
I second that. I second that. Fonzie, you're onto something.
I'm joking.
So I was like, let's look at your nutrition.
Yeah.
You know, and she goes, and another thing too is like my stomach, like, it's weird because I have muscle, and she's, you know, she was toned, like, she wasn't like obese,
Right.
but she had this like rounder stomach, and she's just like, I always feel bloated and stuff. And I was like, well, we really need to look at, you know, she was eating a lot of frozen, like, dinners
Okay.
that you
Okay.
heat up,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
but they're like the lean cuisine. And it's like, people don't, you know, it's so sad, the marketing that they throw out there, because that isn't lean and it has nothing, you know.
It's not nutritional
Yeah.
at all.
And so we had changed some stuff up, and she had called, and it was like 5 days later when she started all this new food, and she was like crying, and she's all, dude, my stomach is like flat. She's like, that inflammation has gone down, and
Wow.
she's like, it is crazy that
Yeah.
all you need to do is just kind of look at that stuff and dial it in. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so it's really cool.
But it's kind of interesting because it's kind of hard to motivate people.
Yeah.
Right? People have to actually be motivated, especially, I mean, I'm pretty sure it's for both women and men.
Yeah.
But how do you keep someone motivated? Like, you know, when you're coaching someone.
So initially, like, starting out, I've had people that I literally am like carrying through things. And so when I start, you know, initial like conversation and consultation with somebody, I'm like, I'm not going to put in more work than you put in. I will give you 110% of me whenever you can. And I am open to all my clients. I want to hear from them daily, like, especially nutrition clients. I want to hear how you're feeling. I want to hear, because it's a huge mental health thing too. Like,
Right.
almost every human uses food for some type of coping,
Yeah.
right? Or emotional support or
Right.
something.
I'm gonna go eat some Twinkies right after this.
Yeah. Like, seriously, and I am like, this is gonna, like, you need to pay attention to this. Like, I want, right now, these first 3 days, yeah, you're like, let's do it. I'm so motivated. In a week, you're gonna be pissed.
Yeah.
And you're gonna want to quit. And you're gonna, like, I said, I love hearing when you have good days,
Right.
but I said, I don't really care about those. I want to hear when you want to freaking die and quit and you're not going to do this.
Yeah.
And I had a girl call me like hysterical one time, and she's like, she had her food prepped that she had done on Sunday, and she got home from work and it was like chicken and whatever. And she goes, I was so mad on the way home knowing that I had to eat that. I didn't want to eat it. She goes, she was crying, and I was like, dude, what did you eat today? And so she told me her breakfast, her snack or stuff that we figured out. And I said, how much like of your proteins, like, what do you have left? And she told me, and I said, what's your favorite place? And I don't even remember what she said. And I was like, go get a burger. She goes, what? And I'm like, don't get fries. Don't get crazy. Just go get a burger and eat it. Come home. And I was like, call me in the morning. And she calls me and she's like, dude, I have, like, that is crazy what it did.
Yeah.
Like, completely,
Yeah.
And I was like, it's not like you can't have those things or you can't do those things, right? But we need to get you to a place to where you're healthy, to where you like what you look like, and you have a good foundation knowing what to eat, you know, of nutrition and stuff. And it's, you know, like, it just is crazy what that support does.
Well, yeah.
Because if she was by herself,
yeah,
she would have been done and never, it would have been years.
Yeah.
Well, it's
right?
like we have to be conscious, you know, at one point of what exactly we're eating, but then again, not let that, you know, stop us from living.
Yeah. And that's my thing too, is like, I mean, obviously, you know, during the show and things like that, like there's times when you just can't.
Right.
But I tell people, I'm like, I'm never going to put you in a position to where you, like, you want to go to a birthday and have the cake.
Yeah.
Like, you want to go out to dinner with your husband and, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
a date night or something.
And it's completely possible.
Okay.
So.
But it is a thin line, right? Because then I'm going to be like, another one won't hurt, you know.
See, and that's where you have to, I guess, have that self-discipline.
Yeah.
You know, I can only do so much. Like, I'll be there to, you know, I'll be whatever you want. Like, do you want me to scream and yell at you? Do you want me to be sweet? Like, how do you want me to coach you? But, you know, it's knowing, and I say that, like, and like what I did for Christmas, you know, parties and Thanksgiving and stuff like that. I was like, don't eat, like, you want to go and have your Thanksgiving, right? And not feel guilty about it, because that's not worth it.
Right.
So I was like, wake up, drink some water, don't do your oatmeal, don't do your normal breakfast, have a protein shake, and, you know, drink water. Like, obviously everyone needs to be drinking water, but I was like, make that a point to be drinking water throughout the day. Okay. Lunch, before you go to your Thanksgiving, have another protein shake. And then I was like, when you get there, have a little bit of everything. Don't get crazy, but enjoy it.
Yeah.
Have it. Don't feel guilty about it. We adjusted your day a little bit, so you didn't have your normal full lunch. You didn't have your normal breakfast with your, you know, your carbs and your eggs and everything. And you're fine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, they're, and like people on vacation, like there's so many different things, like when people go to restaurants and stuff like that, and they're like, help me adjust things, help me fit this in to where it's healthy, and you know what I mean? I'm not. So it's totally possible.
Have you ever had someone tell you, hey, I need you to scream at me? Like any of these, you know?
Not scream at me, but I'm like, you know, I'm blunt, I'm forward. Like, tell me how.
Yeah, okay, I got you.
What level do you want?
Yeah.
You know?
Okay.
And there are times that like people are just, you know, I just have to like get after people and be like, dude, you know, you give yourself a little like grace.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And you're going to mess up. Like, I've been doing this for years, and I have days that the whole day is screwed. I'm like, I don't even freaking care.
For real?
I want my Crunch Berries because that's my favorite cereal. I want and I just, you know, and it just.
You can't have your cake and eat it too.
Right.
You can't.
Yeah. So.
I'm a habitual line stepper, Fonzie. So, you know, if someone gives me a cake, I'm gonna try to eat it too.
Oh, okay. And then that's you. But that's why you are how you are. No, I'm joking.
I think you look great.
Thank you, Fonzie. Okay,
Hey.
2022. Okay, enough with the shaming, Fonzie.
2023.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right.
Have you ever had to like turn somebody away and be like, hey man, like
ain't working
I've been
out?
trying to help you and you're not
Yes.
helping yourself?
Yeah.
And how do you just straightforward?
So I had a client that we did nutrition stuff. They got meals from me, you know, on and off. But it was mainly like a mental health thing. You know, they were really struggling with their divorce and stuff like that. And it, you know, they were kind of working out on their own. So it was really just like coaching sessions, right? Like, so we would have these sessions talking about, it was the same conversation every time. Like, they brought up the same situation every time. There was no progression. The little like things to work on at home, like writing your thoughts down, like little things of homework that I would give him. Nothing would come back. Oh, I didn't do, or yeah, you know, I didn't do this, or I didn't, you know, and it got to the point where it's like, we're not going to work with you until like these are simple things.
Yeah.
And it's the same conversation, crying about the same thing every time you come in. And, you know, like this isn't working. And so it came to the point to where it was like getting to the next month to where they had to pay for, you know, another month. And I was just like, I don't, like, it's not worth it to me. Like, I don't like seeing you in this same position.
Right.
Yeah.
I want to see, you know, progress and stuff. And I was like, I'm not, and they're like, please, like, you know, like, and it was just basically like they wanted to pay for a friend, like pay for somebody to talk to. And I'm like, I get that, but I'm not that person for you.
Go see a therapist.
I can't do that. So yeah. And it was that point where it was just like, you know, you need probably like
A therapist.
something further, something more. And, but yeah, it doesn't happen a ton. Most of the time people, when they come to, you know, me for whatever they're wanting,
right,
you know, they're at a point where they're like, I need a change. Like, I want to be better in this area or this area. And so, you know, for the most part, they're ready.
right.
And I tell them, I'm like, listen, you're gung-ho right now, but in a week or 2 weeks, you're going to want to quit.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm letting you know that's normal. And guess what? In 10 years, if you become perfect at this, you're going to have days where you're like, I don't want to do it anymore. Like, until the day you die.
Right.
Right? Like, it really sucks if you think, sometimes I'm like, man, I wish I never got into fitness and started working out, because it's like, literally like you have to do it until you die,
it's or
you lose it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it's just, you know, you're going to have days that you don't want to do it, and that's fine.
Man, I've been having those days lately.
I have too.
Yeah?
This winter, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm done.
So what do you do
I'm
on those
done.
days that you decide that you're like, all right, I'm going to take a break? Or do you just force yourself to go?
Some days I'll force myself to go. Some days I'm like, no, like I'm having, you know, like
A salt bath instead?
probably not even that. Like, you know what I mean? Just doing a movie. I'm going to kind of do a little hangout, self-care at home. And you know what I mean? But I always end up feeling, which I always tell people, I'm like, you can't feel bad. Like, you can't feel guilty. I always do. I'm like, oh, crap.
Yeah.
I could have just gone. Like, it's so dumb.
Yeah.
So you didn't. You used to drink. Mm-hmm. You don't drink now. Mm-mm. When did you stop?
So when I kind of had that realization of, man, I got like about the serial dating and stuff, like where I'm like, I got to stop everything. Like, I need to just, but it actually started with a girl at work. She was Catholic, and she's like, man, I got to think about what I want to give up for Lent, you know? And I was like, oh yeah, what are you going to do? And I was like, oh, I'll do it too. Like, I'll just do it with you for fun. Right.
Yeah.
And I was like, what should I do? I was like, oh, I'll do alcohol. Like, you know, I just,
That's what you told yourself.
yeah, with
Okay.
her. So
Okay.
I don't even remember what she picked, but, and so I did it. Like, I did, you know, which I didn't ever have a problem. It was just like a social thing. Like, oh, I had, you know, I'm stressed at work, and let's go to someone's house and hang out and party or whatever.
Yeah.
So I did the 40 days with her, and I was like,
You could.
like, why, you know,
Yeah.
like, I don't need it.
Yeah.
And, you know, it sucks going to the gym and stuff after.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Like the next day.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, well, this is cool or whatever. And so one of our friends was having this big birthday party at her house, tons of people, like karaoke and all this different stuff. And everyone, you know, was going to be drinking. And I remember heading over there, and I actually went to the liquor store and bought her, I don't remember what it was, whatever she liked. And I remember feeling like kind of nervous, like, oh, this is the first time I've gone to a party or gone to something since I stopped.
Yeah.
And I get there, and, you know, everyone's having a good time. Like, there's music and it's way fun. And her and a couple of the other girls are like, come on, like, we got to do a birthday shot or whatever. And I was like, hey, you know, give me water. And I was like, I'll do it with you. So I did water, you know, I was like, at least it's in, you know, like for the picture or whatever.
Yeah.
And I karaoke'd, I did everything, like so much fun. Like, it was so fun. And they were like, dude, you like, you were just as fun. Like, you're the same person or whatever. And I remember thinking the next day, like, I am so grateful that happened, because if I would have went and it would have sucked and I would have felt awkward and like been in the corner, like, I probably, you know, would have been like, oh yeah, like I'm going to keep doing that, you know? So I'm really glad that situation had happened. But
Well, it's pretty cool that you did that around drunks, because I mean, you know what I'm saying? You could still be yourself around drunks because they're not going to remember.
Yeah.
You could act the fool and they
Yeah.
won't remember nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
yeah. And I think it was too, like, just, in that time in my life where I was just feeling lost and feeling like I needed something else,
Yeah.
that it just kind of all fit. You know what I mean? Like,
Gotcha.
I need to take everything away
Yeah.
and see what really is, a
Important.
priority, right?
Yeah.
So,
Got you. That makes sense.
And
Man.
I'm sure it helped with the nutrition and
Oh,
working out
yeah.
and all that.
for sure.
Well, I'm excited to see you compete this year. You still don't know when, though, right?
No.
Closer
Yeah.
to the summer,
yeah,
summertime?
so
can
I-
we go? Can we be invited?
Of course.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Because I've never been to one of those.
Yeah, they're fun.
Yeah.
So I did my very first show in March, and I planned on I had the whole year set up to
Right.
keep going, and I followed Rob's crazy ass on a 4-wheeler and
Oh, yes. Ooh.
wrecked, broke my wrist,
man.
had
Wait.
surgery, have a plate in there.
How? Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I know
go
you
ahead.
guys
Go ahead.
said the
No,
same,
no,
but
go ahead.
I just
go
broke
ahead.
my arm. I was in a motorcycle accident, so similar, right? I got plates in here, and I'm like worried about how I'm gonna because I'm 30 now. I just turned 30 a few months ago, and like I was out for like 4 months, and like I kind
Yeah.
of like I'm at the probably like the worst that I've ever been with my fitness, right? How do you come back from that?
So
Because my wrist is still jacked. I can't. You know what I mean? Like
so they told me, like, when I went back to get the cast off from the surgery, he's like, hey, like, you're good. Technically, this wrist is stronger than this one now. They said,
'cause
because of the metal.
metal?
And I
Yeah.
was like, oh, well, that's cool.
Bionic.
And so I know. So I'm like, he's like, yeah, you're good. I'm like, I don't need physical therapy or anything. And he's like, no, like, you're good. Like, just move it around and stuff. And I was like, no. Like, like, this goes like this. This was like this.
Mhm.
Like,
That's
I
kinda where I'm
couldn't
at right now, yeah.
And so I actually just went and made my own to physical therapy. And it's really cool. They just put you through all these little exercises. They heat it up, all this stuff. And then at the end, the doctor actually manipulates it. And I have a really weird, like, Rob always says I'm a psycho because I have a really weird pain. Like,
Tolerance?
I'm fine. Yeah.
Okay.
So I remember sitting there and he's like, hey, I'm going to sit here, and like push it because we want to get this flexibility back. And he's like, you got to let me know, what it hurts and
Right.
whatever. And I was like, listen, you can't hurt it, right? And he's like, no, technically. And I said, okay, don't ask me. I just want you to do it. Like, I just want you to bend it like this. I couldn't even go down into like a push up because it just wouldn't even bend to
where I'm
that.
at.
Wow.
Yeah.
And he was like, holy crap. So like by like my third one,
See how far back I can bring that one. over.
yeah. By my third one, I was already,
Wow.
All the way back.
and
know
then
what?
even now, like even lifting heavy and stuff, it'll get just like achy. But I'm like, too bad.
That
Like
makes me
I'm pushing through it, and
that makes me mad only because I got 12 weeks of physical therapy and didn't do any of that. He didn't do any of that. I go in.
how long ago was it?
I crashed 4 months ago.
Oh, I totally would still go.
Yeah, no, I'm just it just pisses me off. They didn't do any of
But
that.
did you
Yeah.
go all the time?
Yeah,
You didn't miss any.
I missed like 1 or 2, but I just rescheduled.
And then not only that though, in her situation, she actually they didn't offer her that. She went herself.
That's what I'm gonna have to do. I'm gonna have to
Oh,
find
yeah.
a different because they
Well,
sent me
mine's
to
in
the.
Farmington if you want to drive.
I mean, I don't have to
He's
do
rad.
something. I like my hand is.
But also
jacked.
too, like I would sit like where I couldn't bend it, I would go on the ground.
Yeah.
And just sit and just
So it hurt?
just force it.
Snaps.
See, look, I'll show you.
I'm like, it has to go. Like I have to do it.
I broke both of these.
Oh yeah. See,
That
yours
surgery
probably
there
look yours
and
is
there.
way crazier than mine was too. Yeah.
But
Yeah,
yeah.
we have WD-40 in the back because he squeaks. Yeah, but no, that's a
Yeah.
it was a crazy thing when I seen it
Yeah,
on
it
the
was
pictures.
terrible.
What happened?
So we were all up at the Badlands in Wyoming. I was on my 4-wheeler. Rob was on his dirt bike. There was a couple other people on dirt bikes, and then we had the Razor hadn't came up yet, which is crazy. So my best friend Gentry, which I'm sure you guys, I don't know if you've heard it. She lives in Washington. She was down, and she was on the back of my 4-wheeler the whole 2 days on all of our rides prior, right? That was on Sunday morning. It was the last ride we were going on. There's like this big loop you can go on, right? And the material up there is like dirt, sand, like kind of silty. It's like
Okay.
weird.
Yeah.
And it had rained a couple days before, so it had made a washout just right across the trail. Yeah. And normally, like when there's whoops and things like that, like I stand up, you know, and you can just fly over them. So our friend had came up with his razor just to go on that last ride with us. And so Gentry got in there because they had room. And so we were going, and I guess Rob had seen the washout and kind of wheelied over it, and, you know, because we're all a little bit far apart. And he had stopped up ahead and is like waving his arms like, stop. And I was looking down, like I wasn't looking up, and I didn't see him. And by the time I was probably going about 30 miles an hour. Shit. Oh. And by the time I see it, it's right there. And you can't do anything. And my front wheels hit, and it just stops me. Like I hit a wall. I didn't even come off of my four-wheeler.
Oh, you didn't?
No. So I had a helmet on, but my hand caught here, and it crunched and broke down in. And they actually said it broke a little bone in my elbow, but that just kind of has to heal on its own. They don't do anything for it. Luckily, my right hand came off because I'm right-handed. And I hit my shoulder on the steering or on the handle right there, and it was all bruised black and blue. And then I hit my face in my helmet on the whatever, and it like jolted up into my jaw, into my ears, and I was all black and blue down here.
Wow.
And like I've had some hearing things and stuff like that.
I'm joking.
And yeah, like I just remember like sitting there, and Rob goes, I thought you were dead. He's like, you know those old commercials where they have the dummies in the car, and they like, run them into the
oh my gosh, yeah,
and they just crumble. He goes, that's like what you looked like. And he goes, I was like, oh my gosh. So he comes over, and I had a long sleeve shirt on, and I had riding gloves on, and he comes over, and I was like just sitting like this, and I was like, take my helmet off, and he's like, are you okay? And I was like,
he asked you if you were okay.
I'm like, my wrist is broken. He's like, what? I'm like, my wrist is broken. And he pulls my glove off, and it's just like
swollen
a ball. Yeah.
Oh shit. Damn.
And I'm just like sitting there, you know, and he's like, Gentry, get on her four-wheeler and drive it back. And I got in the Razor, and like we're sitting there. And so we cleaned up all of the camp and everything. And I was like, I don't want to go up here. I want to go to like there's a U in Farmington by Station Park. And I was like, let's go there. So we drove all the way home, like the 2 hours, and I'm just sitting in the car.
Wow.
And it's just getting bigger. And so
did you take Tylenol? Nothing.
Maybe I might have taken Tylenol or something.
You don't remember?
Yeah.
Oh man,
that doesn't do too much when you.
Yeah,
well, yeah. You're
I
right.
was just
That's
like, I had a pillow, and I was just like sitting like this.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy is like the first thing Rob was like, "You are crazy." Like when we got into the doctors, the first thing I was like, "So I'm supposed to be doing finish competitions like the rest of the year, like what?" And Rob's like, "Dude, that is not what we're worrying about right now."
Wow.
But yeah, so they're like,
also that still didn't stop you though from competing.
No, that was right after.
Oh, right after.
My
Okay,
first
that's right.
show.
That's right. That's right. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, yeah, and then I had to go to the U in Salt Lake, and I had to wait for it. They actually did a manipulation to try and put the bone back, like just moving it around. And he's like, it's back, but it's not good enough for what you're gonna want, so we have to do surgery.
Do you have pictures of that?
Mm-hmm.
Can you send me one?
Yeah.
Because I'll post it
'Kay.
with this episode. I'm serious. I'll post it.
I will.
Yeah, man. That's a trip, man. Because when I seen that, I almost threw up. And I'm not the type of dude to like really get bothered by things like that. But that shit was nasty.
Yeah.
You're not.
Nah.
Oh.
Well, you are.
I thought you were.
I wasn't. I don't get when I see blood.
Is that you?
Yeah, it's me.
Oh.
Well, there wasn't blood, which it didn't break through.
Right.
Mine did.
Oh, I bet. Yeah, yours looks crazy.
Yeah, it was a motorcycle accident, bro. I mean, well, yours is too, but in a whole different level, though. Anyways, but yeah, man, that's interesting.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So 2 hour drive back to the U.
Mm-hmm.
How long were you out again for? You said a few months.
So they didn't want me to lift over 5 pounds with it for 3 months.
Oh, okay, man.
So how long has it been now?
That was May 1st.
Okay, damn.
Oh, damn. May 1st. Wow.
So whatever.
8 months.
Yeah.
I told you earlier in the podcast that me and you were not so different.
Oh, yeah.
See?
I'm not.
And now you know.
Yeah, you guys are very.
And now the listeners know. I'm just trying. Hey, in some ways, all right. In some ways, we're not so different.
You guys are very different. Very. Nah, so man,
We're not
that's
so different, you and I.
that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool, man. So what's next for Lacie? What's
Ooh, I don't know. know.
Besides the competition and
So
stuff.
I started actually with this talent agency called Stars Talent Studio. They're out of Lehigh.
Oh wow.
Amber Evans, she's the owner of it, and she's done modeling and just commercial stuff, all that kind of stuff for 30 years. Initially I started with them to do like just some fitness stuff.
Yeah.
Like fitness modeling and things like that. But it's really cool. Like, so obviously around, you know, like when people say models and things like that, there's a stigma or whatever, you know? So she, one of the girls that I had talked to that had seen my Instagram was like, you know, it's cool because you do these things, like you like to look good, but you also have all this motivational stuff, like you're helping people, like you're being open and stuff like that. And she goes, that's what we are trying to kind of get into that world.
That lane, yeah.
So that's just new and recent. So
Nice.
Would that come with acting?
So yeah, that's what I was saying. It's initially was just, I was like, oh yeah, I'll do some, you know, like they're contracted with like Nordic Track and things like that. So,
So you're gonna act.
she's like, dude, you need to do like commercials. Like you need to do, a couple of her guys are actually on the season 5 of Yellowstone.
Oh wow.
Right now. And,
would you want to be on that show?
That show's
yeah, I want to be
badass.
Beth.
You want to
I want to come in on season 6 and be like Beth's sidekick, best friend, like from childhood that nobody knew about.
Yeah. Hey.
Yeah.
That's a good little spin up right there. Look at you. Hey, she's crazy, man.
Yeah, she is.
She's nuts.
She's badass.
I
Yeah.
seen maybe one episode.
People are
but
like,
it was
you don't
good.
want to be Beth. I was like, yeah, I do.
Yeah, you got to watch it, Ruben.
I know this this girl. She's the one that told me about the show Yellowstone. She's like, you
Yeah.
haven't watched it? I'm like, no. She's like, watch it. And Beth, yeah, that girl is badass.
Out of control.
Yeah. So the new season just came out, right? I'm pretty sure you've seen it.
Yeah, it's like on, I don't know, like episode
Peacock?
7 or 8 or something.
Oh, yeah,
now
okay.
of season 5.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
I need to get into
Yeah.
it. Okay.
Oh, you haven't seen it at all?
No, the new season.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Okay.
The new season.
Yeah, I heard they just came out with a new one.
Yeah.
Cool.
Have you been watching it?
No, I haven't. I've been
You remind me of Rip.
curious of it.
Oh yeah, that, and see, you know what? I that's what I need
What?
is a rip.
Oh, you need a Rip?
I'm like, I'm not getting with anybody unless that's my goal.
For real?
No, I'm just
Oh, like, wait, no, what?
He's just,
I was
dude,
like, oh, shit.
how he handles with Beth, like, hello.
Yeah.
But he
He's
sets
all-
her straight, right? In a
That's
sense,
what's so
like,
cool.
Yeah,
is
like
he's so calm and but he's like, no, you're being an idiot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. It's just cool.
But is that do you really think there's a Rip out there like that? I
No,
think that's
so
just
when I
fantasy.
got my dog, that's why his name is Rip.
Okay.
Because he's like a big badass King Corso.
Hey, that dude's fucking big.
And I told Rob, I was like, this is the only Rip I'm ever gonna get.
Hey, that's
So
true.
that's his name.
Yeah.
Rip.
I'm joking. You don't remind me.
I'm
jo-
with the,
I'm joking. With the
wait,
beard,
he has a
does.
beard, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, sometimes he wears
Whatever
this.
you say,
oh,
Fonzie.
he is.
Whatever he
Whatever
wears,
you
that
say.
black. That
Whatever you
Hey,
vest.
that's a good compliment though. So just
Okay,
take it.
yeah. So why you give it to me and take it away, Fonzie? You build me up, just tear me down.
I'm sorry, bro.
Hey, but
See
you
what I
do,
deal with, guys?
You do wear the vest sometimes. That he
Ooh,
wears
yeah.
that. He wears that sometimes. So
Just for the listeners, I talk as much shit as he does. So like, it's just a back.
See what I deal with, guys. See what I deal with.
This guy, he's always playing the victim over here.
Oh, I'm joking. I give Fonzie just as much shit.
Yeah,
as
he
me.
does.
It's
Anyways,
true.
but yeah, no. I like that show. That show's pretty
Yeah,
cool. And
it's
your
good.
dog though, Rip, that dude is dangerous. I was playing with him the other day. That dude fucking.
is he bigger than you?
He's out of control.
yeah, bro.
Like taller?
Yeah, it's
But-
like
but-
he's standing up. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's bigger
damn.
than me. Yeah,
He's crazy.
I
yeah.
didn't mean
No, it's all good. Yeah, fucking he is. That's what it
Yeah,
is.
it's tight.
What am I gonna? I can't hide it. What the fuck?
Said even the
No,
dog
but
is
he can
taller.
hide you.
Yeah, I could ride him
Like a horse?
like a horse.
Damn, I always
Nah, I'm
wanted a
kidding.
dog
I
to
can't
ride a
do that.
horse.
But he's a big dog.
So is it trained to like? Oh damn! Do you do
So
that?
I mean, we wanted to initially get him in. So he's had like his basic training. Rob's wanted to use him like in schools and stuff for when he goes in like mental health things and stuff.
He's a gentle giant.
Yeah,
man.
he's
Gentle.
So his breeder, they bred them for like temperament
Okay.
and yeah, he's
Wow.
rad.
That's cool.
dope.
That's cool.
Okay. Well, that's your Rip there. There you go. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. If you ever want a Rip, get a dog. Nah, man, that's awesome. Okay, that a thing that we like to ask here on the Lake Talk 801 is, what is your favorite local spot to eat?
Ooh.
This is gonna be interesting hearing from someone
A
that's
nutritionist?
Yeah.
A nutritionist.
They're watching.
So I don't know if it's a spot.
Whole Foods is not a nutritional.
I don't even know if I've ever been to one.
Or Sprouts. Huh?
Yeah. Sushi.
Okay.
I could eat sushi every single day.
Okay.
I love fat fish in
West Valley.
No,
it's North Salt Lake, Bountiful-ish.
okay.
Oh, so they have
Right
a
off
few.
2600 South.
Yeah.
Okay.
So delicious in Roy.
In Roy.
I love
We've
that.
been
We
there.
took you
We've
there.
been there, yeah.
But yeah, I'd say
Okay.
sushi.
What's your go-to roll? Not to extend the question.
The
Bob,
first kiss
The first kiss.
at So Delicious.
Is it?
Or the kamikaze at Fat Fish.
Huh. Okay.
Okay.
Sounds provocative, and that's why I like it. All right, everyone. Thank you for listening. I'm joking. Real quick, we usually do this at the beginning of the episode, but we forgot. Don't worry, I'm going to make this nice and quick. We're sponsored by Bohemian Brewery. They've been brewing Utah's finest lager since 2001. Our favorite is their Mexican-style lager called Cerveza. Smooth, easy drinking, and literally perfect for any occasion. They're located out on 94 East and Fort Union Boulevard. Go check it out.
Go check it out.
Thank you, Bohemian.
But Lacie, we want to
That
thank
was
you
nice.
for coming through. Anything that you think that we missed that you would like our listeners to know or anyone to know? Any inspirational words?
Oh, geez. Put me on the spot. I would say, like I tell all my clients, that it's getting into a routine, starting a new program, wanting to better yourself, fixing something that you've like hated about yourself. It is never as scary and as hard as you think it is.
Gotcha.
Alone, probably yes, but like, I mean, especially with me and how I do it, it's like I'm there with you. There's adjustments. There's like, don't wait. You know,
Gotcha.
don't wait for Monday. Don't wait for, I mean, I guess, you know,
Start today.
Now's New Year's.
Yeah.
So you can start now, but like, you know,
Just start now.
1% progress every day is progress.
Gotcha. Another, just one more quick question with nutrition. Would you recommend baby goat to eat or matter baby?
What's matter?
Huh?
What does matter?
Matter baby?
Yeah.
You never ate matter baby? No? Oh.
Never even heard of that.
What?
So baby goat or what?
Matter baby?
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
Oh. Okay, well, we'll leave it for next time then, people.
You were supposed to say, "What's the matter, baby?"
Sorry, I totally.
You're okay.
Totally
you're
ruined
good.
You're okay. No, you're okay. But now you know what matter baby is.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. But anyways, you guys have a wonderful night, and thank you for tuning in.
Yeah.
Thank
Stay
you.
sexy, Salt Lake City.
Yeah, stay sexy, Salt Lake City.
Thank you for listening. Join us next time on the Lake Talk.